We've got some good-looking courses out there, which I'm sure we'll have up on the screen when we get a bit deeper into the start list. So very tricky, lots of detail, lots of decisions to be made, lots of controls, so it should be a great time.
Yeah, there's certainly looks like it's a lot of control picking, so fast cornering around there. It'll be interesting to see whether the more stronger runners versus the more technical orienteers will take the leaderboard today. Now we've had our first lot of independent athletes go out now. We haven't got anyone through on the first radio controls yet, so stay tuned. So just a quick run through on the start list on some potential podium places here. So it looks like in the senior boys, we've got a big group of Cooper Hawley, Owen Ratajewski from Australia, and possibly the New Zealanders Eddie Swain and Jake McClellan getting up there. Now, in the senior girls, it's safe to say that Milwaukee and Erica Enderby are pretty heavy favourites there, with possibly the likes of Tide Farve coming up there for New Zealand. Now, for the junior boys, it looks a quite tough field out there, possibly with Hayden Dent from ACT, maybe Maddie Maundrell as well, with a strong athletics background there, and Rowan Braid potentially getting up there in the mix. I think I've missed a couple of Kiwis like Blake McKinnon. He could do a pretty good run today as well. Junior girls looks quite a bit tough as well. We've got quite a couple of strong names here from ACT, Adriana Ishkakova and Katie Hogg as well, and possibly a couple of others from Victoria maybe.
Yeah, I'd put a plug in for Angeline Cosma, it's pretty handy, especially in the short distances, so good to see how they go out there.
So we've just had our first people coming through on the radio controls. So Zara Toes in the senior girls, in first place in the independents at the moment.
We've also got our first senior boy through, Eli Dent, in the senior boys. So.
I'm back.
Testing. We've got our first junior girls through as well, Shari Gilbert on the first radio controller. And we've just had a couple athletes come through the spectator area. They should start coming thick and fast.
All the kids do. Yeah.
We've just got our first arena passage now. Looks like that's Theron Halpin in the junior boys. So coming through in about 7 minutes, 28 seconds. So that should be a pretty good indicator for the junior boys. I would assume that the spectator loop's about halfway through, so potentially spot on for the 12 to 15 minute winning time there.
And we've got our first junior girl coming to the arena passage now as well, in Sophie Bacchus.
And Eli Dent in the senior boys as well for the independents. It'll be interesting to see how well his time pairs up against the state schools athletes here.
And we got Zara Toes just coming through the arena passage there as well.
So we've now got all of our independent athletes out there on the course. In about roughly 4.5 minutes time, we'll see the schools athletes starting out soon.
And we got Grace Jardine now coming through the arena run through there. And Karen Prince coming through now as well.
We're getting a couple more of our independent athletes coming through now. It's glad to see a lot of New Zealand orienteering tops out there. It's good to see that a couple of them have come across the ditch to run at our Australian secondary schools championships. So in just under a minute now, we'll have our first state schools athlete starting off now. So in the senior boys, that'll be Joshua Mansell. In the senior girls, Kari Brennan. In the junior girls, Katie Clausen. And in the junior boys, Shay Sweeney.
And we've got our first senior boy at the finish, pre-warning, Eli Dent, in 14 minutes and 26 seconds.
I'm a mother of a teenage boy. I know, they don't listen to anything, they don't read anything. What?
We've got another commentator joining the commentary box, Leith Soden from South Australia, here to join us. So Leith, did you want to give an introduction to yourself to the crowd?
Yeah, thanks, Riley. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to a good day of racing. It looks fairly fast out there and a great arena. Lots of chances for spectating here today.
And we just have our first starters off now for the Australian Secondary Schools Orienteering Championships. Second starters.
We've got some great images coming through from the field from our roaming camera. Great to see.
Looks like that's Kari Brennan on the camera now there. And we've also got another commentator joining us, Felix Hunt.
So we've just had the first few non-independent athletes starting as well. Before now, it's just been the independent athletes. You can see Solomon Randerson starting now from New Zealand, along with a few other athletes. He's a very quick runner, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes out there today.
Yeah, I was just talking earlier with Aislinn. It'll be interesting to see whether it'll be the more technical orienteers who take the titles today or more of the stronger athletes on the running side. So we've got a pretty good history of competing in the sprint championships. What are your thoughts, Leith and Felix?
Oh, it's hard to tell without having seen the map, but it definitely looks like it could be some tricky orienteering out there. You can already see it. Oh, wait, we have the map right here. Yeah, okay, I think it definitely looks like it'll have to be a mix of both. The athletes who can run fast and also navigate accurately. Definitely not going to get around that course just by running in circles. So, yeah, I think athletes will have to be skilled technically and physically out there today.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like some of the buildings are quite well defined though, so it might be easier to pick up some of those corners and open up on some of the longer legs. And we've had a few more people come into the finish as well. Zara Toos has just finished in senior girls. She's the first finisher. Shari Gilbert has finished in junior girls. And in the senior boys, Finn Van Keulen and Leo Croxford have both finished. Finn going into second place there, minute 17 down on Eli Dent, and Leo Croxford finishing as well, a couple more minutes down.
And I think even though those top two in the senior boys are independent athletes, I think they're both will be very hard times to beat, Eli Dent especially, and Finn is a very quick athlete as well. So I would watch out for those times as well. I think they may stand up the top for quite a while.
And we've just had our first Australian Schools Champs junior boy through the first radio in Jack Trousdale from Harua.
Yeah, it's good to see that the independent athletes are now putting up a pretty strong fight against the regular secondary schools champ athletes here. So it'll be good to see if Eli Dent's time stands amongst the other boys.
And a couple of other Victorian Schools Champs athletes through that first radio in the junior girls. We've got Adeline Richmond, senior girls Stephanie Dunn, and in the junior girls also Torrin Jorgensen.
Just if you look up on the big screen there, we see Alicia McGibbon in the senior girls and Alex Wolford in the senior boys. They'll be pretty good dark horses for a potential top 10, possibly top 5 place today. We'll see how they go out on the course.
And Ella Hogg coming through that first radio for the senior girls. She's a little bit down at that radio in 5th. I expect Ella to have a strong finish.
All right, so I'm here with Finn Van Keulen, one of the first athletes to finish so far. So we can get a quick sneak peek at how the terrain was. Finn, what did you think of the course out there today?
Well, there's a lot of impassable fences that you have to figure out and take the right route choice so you don't get stuck. Yeah, and it's quite technical in the buildings, a lot of small passageways and technical corners, and yeah, a few bad route choices by me, but overall pretty good.
Nice, it's good to hear. Do you think the course will suit the fast runners or the good navigators today mainly?
I think more the faster runners, but it's still quite technical. You have to be good at both.
Sweet, awesome to hear. I think you and Eli's times might stand up near the top for a while.
Speaking of top favourite athletes for today, Tide Fave just started about a minute ago in the senior girls, so it'll be interesting to see who comes in the top of the table today. So, Felix and Leith, I was just wondering, who's your potential favourites for taking out the sprint title today?
Yeah, that's a very tricky question. Obviously, there's a lot of depth in this field in that senior girls category. Yeah, Tide 5A, definitely a favourite there. We also have Miller Key, who's been at WOC this year, and Erica Enderby as well, who will be expected to put some very fast times up today.
Yeah, and you have a couple of New Zealanders as well, like Alicia McGibbon, possibly Juliet Freeman, Georgia Lindros could come up there as well, and of course your younger sister Phoebe
Yeah,
Hunt.
and I think Anna Babington as well will be a really big threat in the sprint. She has been resting herself for the past couple of days. She wasn't actually in Australia until yesterday, so she'll be fresh and ready to go on the sprint. Usually her favourite discipline is the sprint, so she'll definitely be one to watch today.
And what about in the senior boys class? I would assume Cooper Hawley's a pretty heavy favourite there.
Yeah, obviously Cooper, having been qualified for the WOC team, he was sick in Europe, so there is a few question marks around his shape. He's been a bit ill recently, but I'm sure even if he's under the weather, he'll still be a very tough one to beat. Maybe only a few who could challenge him, possibly Jake McClellan from New Zealand, who's been really quick recently, and Owen Radovetsky, and probably Ewan Best as well, some of the ones who could challenge him for that.
And we've just had Torren Jorgensen run through the spectator run through in first for the junior girls.
It'll be interesting to see if she can hold on to first place overall and get in the hot seat, see if we can get a couple of words from her there.
And Ella Hogg for the senior girls just running through the spectator there as well.
Yeah, so I was mentioning before to Aislinn, in the junior boys, we've got Rowan Braid and Hayden Dent, pretty strong favourites, and I believe Blake McKinnon as well, and a couple of other Kiwis as well, Felix.
Yeah, I think a big name to watch out for in the junior boys will be Zach Meads from New Zealand. He won the qualification race in New Zealand, the King's Birthday competition, by a whopping 2 minutes in the junior boys class, ahead of all the other Kiwis. So I think if he has a good race today, he will be possibly one to challenge the likes of Hayden Dent.
We've just had a new fastest time in the junior boys class. William Headley from Independence actually has just gone into first place in a time of 17:32, and he's about a minute up on the time of Callum Bryant.
And at our third spectator, we've just had a new fastest time in the junior boys in Ben Mansell. And Ben Mansell just running through the spectator there, so he's currently our fastest junior boy at the spectator control.
And in the junior girls class, I'd like to ask Riley if he thinks there's any Australians who might be able to challenge the likes of Greta Prince and Anna Wright, who are already familiar with that junior girls podium from last year.
Yeah, well, from ACT, they've got a pretty strong team of Adriana Ishkova and Katie Hogg as well, so those two would possibly be strong contenders, and you never know, we might have a couple of freak results because the juniors class can be pretty unpredictable here. Oh, just to cut you off there, Felix, looks like we've got Alicia McGibbon and Cassie Reinbott in the senior girls coming through in a bit of a train there. It'll be interesting to see if they can come back on a pretty good result.
And Alicia has the fastest time through there, actually, at the spectator control. 6:07, quite a big lead, actually. More than 20 seconds ahead of Zara Toos, who was leading at that point.
Although we just had our fastest junior girl through the first spectator in Sander Halpin from Orienteering ACT.
But senior girls looking very interesting, actually, with two flying Kiwis out there. Tide Farbai has just coming through the spectator now, or shortly, I think, with another new fastest time ahead of Alicia. So if you look at the run through right now, you'll see Tide coming through with the current leader in the senior girls class. So she's on a good run so far, it seems.
It'll be interesting to play back through her tracking. And speaking of tracking, the GPS tracking will be live soon. So that'll be interesting to see how Tide and Alicia went through there. I repeat, GPS tracking is live now. Apologies for that. So we'll be able to see that pretty soon.
And we just had a new fastest junior boy at the first radio control in Jacob Abernathy from Harua.
Glad to see that we've got some of the spectators getting into the crowd there. Make sure you give our schools athlete a good cheer as they come through the spectators. We've got Nick Stanley up on the big screen there. It'll be, let's see, where is he placed at the moment? He seems like he's in a pretty good position at the moment. Oh, he hasn't come through the first spectator on my thing yet. That's a bit odd.
And we've got Jack Trousdale in the junior boys from Harua coming through first just before the finish. So he should be at the finish pretty soon.
So in the junior girls class, we should be expecting Torrin Jorgensen into the finish soon. She is currently pretty close with the current leader, Dora Slavic. Yep, that's a new lead actually for Torrin Jorgensen, just into the finish, 8 seconds ahead. So new fastest time in the junior girls.
We'll see if we can get some words from her a bit later, but for now, if you look up on the screen, it's got the senior boys tracking there. So we've got up there, we've got not that many competitors out in the field. Oh, looks like Ewan Keith's tracking's paused a bit there, but it's probably cut off under the undercover area there.
And we've just had Jack Trousdale come into first place in the junior boys at the finish now as well. So you can see it's a very busy map there, quite a lot of controls, quite a lot of fine decision making, but also some really decisive long legs there. So it should be interesting to see what the school's athletes make of it. And a new fastest time in the junior boys through the first radio control in Matty Maundrell from Orienteering ACT.
Oh, for the junior boys, I forgot about him. He's a pretty strong favourite there as well. He's a very strong road runner.
And a new fastest time for the senior girls at the second radio in Alicia McGiven from Karahiwi.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see though. That time might not stand for long, with Tide coming around the course just behind her and taking fastest times at every radio so far. Yeah, so we're behind Isaac Stewart right now on the big screen, running for Harua, one of the New Zealand teams. Looks like he's moving well. We'll have to see what his times are when he comes through.
And hey, Eli, you're our current leader in the senior boys class. How was your run?
Oh, it was a good run. I made a couple of mistakes, but overall pretty fast. And
Yeah, lots of fine decision making. Did you get tripped up at all in that control picking section?
a couple of them, one of them was just a couple of inside corners stuff I got outside, but wasn't too bad mistakes there.
Yeah, great work. Well, let's hope your time holds up. Congratulations.
Okay, looks like Cooper Hawley has been out there for a minute in the senior boys, and Owen Radajewski has just started, so it'll be interesting to see if their times can pair up to the time of Eli Dent. And Felix, we've just got your younger sister Phoebe Hunt passing through in the senior girls.
Yeah, it looks like she has had a reasonably good run so far, coming through in third place, just behind Tide, Farby and Alicia McGiven. So it's Kiwis 1, 2, 3 so far at that point in the senior girls course.
Can Renee Beveridge please report to the commentary box? Renee Beveridge. If you look up on the big screen there, we've got Cooper Hawley, one of the favourites for the senior boys, taking it pretty reserved for the first couple of controls out there. It'll be interesting to see if he picks a couple of the longer legs to stretch out his legs there. And it looks like he's caught up to Tide Farve in the senior girls, both of our heavy favourites to take the win today. And if you look up at the big screen there, we've got the senior boys tracking again there. Lucas Kent just coming into one of the controls, and Max Walter and Will Barnes looks like they're possibly running together. If you look at the bottom right corner, there's Cooper Hawley coming through now.
And one of our strong favourites, Ella Clausen in the junior girls from Orienteering Tasmania, coming through the first radio in second place. And we've got Georgia Lindreys coming through the fourth radio in the senior girls in first place for Harua.
And we've just had Alicia McGivern finish recently. She was up at some of those controls on the time of Zara Tours, but she has gone into second place, 7 seconds behind. And it shouldn't be too long before we see Tide Fave coming through the finish. She's still in first place at that most recent radio control.
Yeah, it should be any second now that we see Tide into the finish for the senior girls, and this will be quite a large new lead, I imagine. She was
And Erica Enderby just first through the first radio. A bit surprising there to see her down in fourth, so hopefully she can pick up a bit of time around the rest of the course.
And here comes Tide now into the finish, so let's see what the gap is. This could be a very strong time for the New Zealand athlete running for Harua. We'll wait for the time to pop up. And yes, 15:52, so that's almost 20 seconds, 19 seconds ahead of Zara Toos. It does look like she lost a bit of time at the end though, because she was more than 30 seconds up at the second to last radio control.
And a couple of exciting results through our first radio. We've got Anna Babington come through in first place at that radio for senior girls, and Cooper Hawley for the senior boys.
So potentially Anna Babington could potentially knock Tide Fave's first place result out there, but we'll see as she comes through the other radio controls. It'll be interesting to see if Georgia Lindroos and Juliet Freeman can potentially pick up on a bit of time in the second half of the course there. And we haven't seen Owen Radajewski yet. Maybe we missed him for his spectator and radio controls, but it'll be interesting to see how well he goes against Cooper Hawley there.
Yeah, well, look at that. Look at that lead for Cooper Hawley at the first radio control. After only 5 minutes of running, he's already 22 seconds ahead of Eli Dent, who seemed like had a pretty good run.
And we've got a new first place in the senior boys at the finish, Duncan Still. He's come in 13:53, so about 30 seconds ahead of Eli Dent.
On the big screen right now, we're following James Wright, I believe. One of the Kiwi athletes. Looking like he's smooth through here. We haven't really seen any mistakes from any of the athletes so far. Maybe a little bit wide in that corner from James, but seems like he's moving well.
We've just had Owen Radajewski come through that first radio control, and he is 20 seconds down on the time of Cooper Hawley, 5 minutes into the course. So if Cooper Hawley can keep this pace up, it might be a dominant performance here.
And Georgia Lindrews maintaining that first place in the senior girls at the second radios. But Erica Enderby has gone first in the third radio now in the senior girls.
And Juliet Freeman has just passed through the spectator arena for the senior girls, so it looks like it's quite a tough competition there for the senior girls, particularly for the New Zealanders.
And back on what we just said before, that time from Duncan Still that we commentated as the new fastest in senior boys, unfortunately that was a DNF, so Eli Dent's time still holds true. He's still in first place in a time of 14:26.
Really seems like the senior girls is the action category right now, with a lot of fast runners out there and who have just finished as well.
Yeah, and it seems like a pretty dominant performance from New Zealand Harua and Karahiwi here. We'll see if we can get some more Australians up there. So if you look back up at the big screen, you can see Cooper Hawley's tracking moving pretty fast there. So I think he's got a pretty dominant performance today, possibly.
Oh, Anna Babington with another fastest time through the second radio control as well. So she's
We've got Erica
got a very good
Enderby
run as
through
well.
the run through there. But I'm just here with Tide, who took a dominant lead at the finish. Tide, how was your run?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Just like the end was quite messy, but it's all good.
Yeah, really tricky. Did you find there were some decisive route choices out there?
Yeah, I think I definitely took a couple wrong route choices, but overall it was pretty good, I think, maybe.
Yeah, very good. And are you excited about the races to come over the next couple of days?
Yeah, I definitely prefer forest events, so I'm definitely more excited for those.
All right, we're excited to see what you can do. Thank you.
All right, and we're going to have to... Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry for cutting you off there, Felix. We've just had Cooper Hawley and Anna Babington, what was the leaders for the senior boys and the senior girls class, but Jake McClellan has just come through the first radio in first place.
But he's actually tied with Cooper Hawley, so it's looking like a very, very exciting race in the senior boys. The two big favourites, Jake McClellan and Cooper Hawley, both 4 minutes and 59 seconds to the first radio control, so this could be a battle to watch.
And Owen Radajewski in second place at the third radio control there, so it's looking like it's going to come down to the seconds at the finish sprint here. Now, if you look up at the big screen again, we've got on the spectator Lachlan Braid putting a pretty strong performance. Oh, and I've just been cut off by Maddie Maundrell coming in first for the junior boys in a very dominant time of 13 minutes, 18 seconds. Looks like he's really improved his navigation over the last year because he's smashed that performance out there today. We'll see if we can get a few words out of him on the course today at the hot seat.
Oh, and it's very tight in the senior girls. Phoebe Hunt from Karahiwi has just come to the finish, only 2 seconds behind Tide Fave from Harua. So, such small margins separating those top athletes right now.
And we've just got Owen Radajewski and the senior boys coming through now. And Georgia Lindrews coming in first at the pre-warning to the finish now. So, if she has a pretty strong finish sprint here, looks like she could take the win.
Yeah, and we also had Anna Babington come through the spectator control a couple minutes ago. Her time was actually fastest at that point as well. So we are cooking up an absolute competition in the senior girls class today, even though it is just the New Zealand athletes at the moment. But we'll see the times of Erica Enderby and later on Miller Key as well come through.
Yeah, it certainly seems like that this is the tightest that I've seen for the Australian School Sprint Championships. And we've just got Georgia Lindrews coming through now, the finish. We'll have to wait to see the official results time, but she could possibly take out the win today. We'll just wait for confirmation from the registration tent there.
And a really strong run there from Lucas Kent running through the spectator. I believe he's in third.
Sorry. Georgia Lindrews with a 42-second lead in the senior girls. We thought it was a close category until now, but she's absolutely blown that competition apart. So I wonder if it's a bit of a strategic choice by the New Zealand senior girls to all run this early today, because we've all seen them in the first couple of start blocks, most of these top New Zealand senior girls. We'll have to wait for a while to see what the Aussies can do.
We've also just had Isaac Stewart finish in the junior boys running for New Zealand Harua. He's gone into second place and he is 16 seconds down on the time of Maddie Maundrell.
And we've just had Ella Clausen come through first for the junior girls in the pre-warning, so a really strong run there for Ella.
And we've just got Jake McClellan now coming through the spectator. It'll be interesting to see if a couple of these boys can take out Eli Dent's overall lead here.
Oh, so I wonder if there's been a mistake there from Jake McClellan, because he's now almost 40 seconds behind Cooper Hawley. And they were tied at the first radio, so in the space of only a couple of minutes, he's lost about 40 seconds. So yeah, it seems like maybe some troubles out there for Jake McClellan.
Cooper Hawley we've just registered him at the pre-warning. He is in first place at the moment, so we should see him in the finish very shortly. Let's see if he can beat that time of Eli Dent.
And we've got our favourite, Miller Key, through the first radio control, but she's currently down in second place on Anna Babington.
Yeah, if you looked up at the big screen before, you could see her running through there, looking like she might do a pretty strong time to potentially take out a couple of our New Zealand athletes.
And Ella Clausen has finished now, taking out the first place in the junior girls. So
And Cooper Hawley coming through in a pretty strong finish now. We'll just have to wait to see the results now. Oh, he's looking like he had a pretty tough run out there on the big screen.
Yep, his time's just come through. He has gone into first place. 50 seconds ahead of Eli Dent. A dominating run from Cooper Hawley. as well as Ella Clausen has also just come into first place in the junior girls category. And a very strong time from her as well. She is 37 seconds up on the time of Torren Jorgensen.
We'll have to see if the Flying Felix can interview a couple of these athletes, see if we can get some words from Cooper there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to wait for Cooper to come download now. This could very likely be the winner in the senior boys class, so it'll be good to talk to him.
And a couple second places there through the pre-warning. So Owen Radajewski for the senior boys in second at the pre-warning. Adrian Garbellini for the junior boys, second at the pre-warning. And Juliet Freeman for the senior girls, also second at the pre-warning.
So I'm here with Cooper Hawley. We're just waiting to see if the time is good. No missed punch. It's a clean run from Cooper. So Cooper, you're one of the big favourites for the senior boys today. Do you reckon you've done enough with that run?
I'm not sure, really. I lost some time with the fences. It looked like it's mapped open, but it's closed. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe a bit tricky out there. Do you think it was more of a runner's course or more of a navigator's course today? Or a bit of both?
Yeah, a bit of both. You've got to spot the route choices there. Not as easy as it seems, I guess.
Yeah, there's been a bit of. I've heard you've had a bit of trouble with sickness recently in Europe and once you're back home in Australia. Do you reckon your shape is still pretty good, or has that been impacting you today?
It's all right, but I could tell I definitely wasn't running as fast as I would have been able to earlier in the year, but it's okay, I guess.
All right, great job out there today. Now a bit of a nervous wait, but we'll see how long it holds.
And we've just had Erica Enderby and Anna Babington through our pre-warning. So Anna Babington's currently in a very dominating first position with Erica 42 seconds back. And Juliet Freeman's come through in second place in the senior girls at the finish, and Adrian Garbellini into third.
Yeah, and we've just popped up on the results screen. Owen Radajewski placed himself 28 seconds behind Cooper Hawley. Now, about a minute ago, we saw Eddie Swain come through in the senior boys and Hayden Dent in the junior boys. So it'll be interesting to see if Hayden Dent can pick up on the time that his fellow teammate from ACT, Maddie Maundrell, has put on a pretty dominant performance today.
And we've got a new leader in the senior girls, Anna Babington, absolutely smashing it. She is currently 36 seconds ahead of Georgia Lindrews at the finish, with Erica Enderby also finishing and slotting into third there, 44 seconds back.
We've had Jake McClellan at the pre-warning as well. He was in first place at the first radio, but he is now in fourth, 49 seconds down on Cooper Hawley. As we've also just had Miller Key come through to spectator control, currently in sixth place at that third radio, but it's only 5 minutes into the course and she's only 14 seconds down, so it will really come down to that last half of the course there, so you can keep their head.
Okay, so as we might have expected, Anna Babington has got a huge lead at the finish right now, 36 seconds, so definitely a big favourite for today. She placed very well at JWOC a couple of years ago, JWOC 2023 in Romania. She was in the top 30 there, so very strong in sprint, still at school.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the Aussies, particularly if Eric Enderby and Miller Key, can put up a similar performance to the dominant display that the Kiwis did.
And I'm here with Maddie Maundrell, who's our current leader in the junior boys. How was your run out there, Maddie?
It was pretty good. Besides from one little mistake, I kind of got trapped, but other than that, it was pretty good. And it was a fast course.
And I've heard you're a pretty handy runner. Do you do a bit of track on the side?
Yeah, I do. So that probably helped out today, considering.
Are you worried your brother's going to beat you?
I don't think so. But I don't think I'll be here for much longer.
Oh, great work out there, Maddie. It's very exciting. And I'm also here with Anna Babington, who took a very dominating lead in our senior girls. How was your run out there, Anna?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was a bit uncertain on the route choices, but it was good, yeah.
Yeah, which bit do you think was the decisive part of the course for you?
I don't know, I felt it was pretty consistent the whole way. Perhaps, there were some tricky bits around the second half of the course, definitely with some out of bounds that you kind of had to look out for. And yeah, so I definitely would say the second half of the course was probably a bit more decisive when you're tired and having to make decisions under pressure.
Yeah, congratulations. Well, it's a very strong lead, so we'll see how that holds up at the end. Thank you.
Okay, so we just heard from Anna just then, and she is currently winning the senior girls. Miller Key is out there right now, but she's in second place at the radio she just went through. 7:23, so she's 11 seconds behind Anna at the third radio control. So it's quite a tight race. That's definitely can easily change in the last part of the course. So this is going to be very interesting to watch, to see if Anna can hold on there.
We've just have Eddie Swain finished in the senior boys now. We'll see his results shortly.
And we've just had Adriadna Ishakova through in first place at the first radio in the junior girls.
Yeah, so it looks like that'll be one of the favourites that we expected out there in the junior girls. So it'll be interesting to see. Oh, and sorry to cut you off there, we've just got Hayden Dent coming in first in the junior boys at the pre-warning before the finish now. So we should be expecting Hayden to come through anytime soon.
So we've got a replay of the senior boys category up on the big screen right now. You can see the route choice for that second control. Eddie Swain going left, the rest of the group all going right. So Eddie Swain standing out there. We're not sure which was faster. And then we see Cooper Hawley takes a commanding lead straight from the get-go. Seems like it's navigating smoothly. Obviously the GPS is sometimes hard to decipher through these buildings on sprint maps. But you can see Cooper Hawley well ahead.
And I'm just here with Ella Clausen, who's our current leader in the junior girls. Ella, how was your run?
Yeah, pretty good. It was very fun out there. Some good navigation.
Yeah, and did you feel like it was a real runner's race or a little bit more technical?
There were some technical bits that I had to slow down for, but a lot of it was just running fast.
Yeah, great. And did you see any of your competitors out on the course, or was it a bit solo?
I'm not sure. I was trying to just focus on my race and not worry about the others.
Yeah, very good. Well, congratulations. You're currently in lead.
And we've got a new fastest time in the junior boys. Hayden Dent has just gone through and finished. We'll see if that run was all good. Yep, it's hearing correct on our screen. 6 seconds ahead of Maddie Maundrell, the second Dent to go in the winner's chair of the day.
That is an extremely close result in the junior boys there. Now, we just saw Ewan Best run through in second place when he ran through the spectator loop there. It'll be quite interesting to see if he can get up there in the mix with a couple of those other senior boys, but I would imagine Cooper Hawley, he's 15-minute 5K runner and a very good navigator. It'll be pretty hard for Ewan to top him off, but it'll be wonderful to see if he can do it.
Yeah, he's looking quite secure in that leader's chair right now. Probably only Ewan Best and maybe Blake McKinnon who could challenge him now, but Blake looks like he's already quite far down at the second radio. And Ewan also with some time to close, he's about 30 seconds down, so it's looking very good for Cooper Hawley, possibly your senior boys champion for today.
And we've had a new fastest time at the third radio for the junior girls in Keely Williams from Orienteering Victoria.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of junior girls come out of the woodworks here. It'll be interesting to see how well they hold up in the forest tomorrow. And Miller Key coming in second place in the pre-finish warning. In second place. It'll be interesting to see if she can get a pretty strong finish sprint here to take the overall lead from Anna Babington here. Let's see. Yeah, so the pre-warning, it was about a 20-second difference. We'll see if she can make a 20-second lead here. If not, Anna's pretty much got the title secured.
Yeah, that's a big gap to close. Unless Miller pulls out something absolutely insane here at the finish. It looks like it might be going well for Anna Babington.
And a lot of movement in the junior girls class at the moment at the second radio. We've just had Sophie Hurd come through in first place from Karahiwi.
And I think we've just seen Miller Key finish. Yeah, she's gone into second place. She made 8 seconds up on Anna Babington there, but she's finished 12 seconds behind overall. So very close there in the senior girls. But it looks like Anna Babington may have secured the victory today.
And an impressive run for Amy Nicol as well, finishing in the senior girls. She's currently into 5th, but she's only losing to 3 JWOC athletes and Georgia, who's also basically a JWOC athlete in the sprint.
And we've got Greta Prince in second place at the pre-warning for the junior girls for Karahiwi. But then right after her, Sophie Hurd coming through to take that first place in the junior girls at the pre-warning.
Yeah, so the junior girls is looking like as the last block of starters are coming out, it's becoming pretty close. So Ella Clawson's still in the lead. Oh, she was second overall in the second leg there, but it looks like that might change soon with Sophie Hurd. We'll see if she can come through in a pretty strong finish. If she can, she might take over the title.
Yeah, so it's going very well from Sophie Hurd. She's 20 seconds up at the last radio control.
And Ewan Best coming through the pre-warning in third place in the senior boys.
Yeah, so 23 seconds down on Cooper. If he makes a pretty strong finish, he might come up in trumps here. And we've just got Alton Freeman coming through the finish now. He was third at the pre-warning. We'll see if he can take on the likes of Maddie Maundrell and Hayden Dent. We'll just wait on the results.
And in junior girls, we just had Greta Prince into the finish, and it's very tight again in that category. She's only 2 seconds behind Ella Clawson. So 14.24 for Greta Prince. Looks like a good run from her.
And Sophie Hurd coming in first there, and Alton Freeman fourth. And Ewan Best has moved up to second in the senior boys. Looks like this last block of starters have really shifted the ladder here.
Yeah, so that was new fastest time in the junior girls from Sophie Hurd. She's 26 seconds up on Ella Clawson, 28 seconds up on Greta Prince. So a pretty dominant run there. 26 seconds is a lot in a sprint. And also at the third radio, we've had Rory Shedden in junior boys with a new fastest time. Equal with that of Maddie Maundrell at that point.
So I'm here with Hayden Dent, the current leader in the junior boys class. Winning by 6 seconds right now. Were you happy with your run?
Yeah, I screwed up a bit at the start, but I was pretty good after that.
Oh, do you reckon there's anyone out there who could still challenge you in the junior boys class? There's Zach Meads left to start. a couple other names possibly, or do you reckon your time will be pretty hard to beat?
It's going to be pretty hard to beat.
That's what we like to hear. Great job, Hayden.
Yeah, the ACT boys certainly have a lot of confidence in themselves, and I don't doubt them. They've put a pretty dominant performance, but it'll be interesting to see if Rory Shedden comes through in a time to challenge the ACT boys there. And he came through second on the third radio control, so he's 3 seconds down at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see if he can pick back up on the second half of the course there.
So I'm here with Sophie, who's just come with a huge new lead in the junior girls. 26 seconds ahead of anyone else. Seems like you had a flyover run out there.
Yeah, I messed up on a couple controls, but I tried to make up the time.
Nice, you must have had some really good speed. Has your training been going well for Australia? You feel like you're in good shape right now?
Yeah, I think my fitness could be better, but I feel like it's where it should be right now.
Nice, it's great to hear. I think there's quite a big chance that could be the champion in our junior girls class. A very hard time to beat now with only a few runners left.
But we've just had Adriana Ishakova come through the pre-warning in first place, so she may knock Sophie out of the hot seat, I'm afraid. Currently, she's 12 seconds ahead.
That seems like I spoke too soon. Oh, and a big name starting now in the junior boys. Possibly the only one left who could challenge Hayden Dent. Zach Meads, running for...
And I believe we've got Adriana Ishikova coming through the finish now. It'll be interesting to see if she can take the lead from Sophie Herden. Yes, she does by 17 seconds. Dominant performance there from ACT in the juniors class there.
Well, so Zach Meads running for Harua. Definitely, possibly the only threat to Hayden Dent. We'll have to see how he goes out there. We'll be nervously awaiting his times at the radio controls, I'm sure. So it looks like both the senior classes have been pretty much wrapped up now with most of the athletes finishing, all the big favourites have started and finished. So Cooper Hawley, Ewan Best and Owen Radievsky are your top 3 in senior boys, and Anna Babington, Miller Key and Georgia Lindrews are your top 3 in the senior girls.
Yeah, it's been a while, been a few years since we've seen a all-Australian top 3 in the senior boys category. It's been pretty dominant from the Kiwis the last couple of years, the likes of Felix Hunt himself and Zephyr Fave as well.
Yeah, and in the junior girls here, we've got first place, pretty solid, Adriana Ishikova, then Sophie Hurd second and Ella Corson third. At the moment, the last class that we're waiting for confirmation, Hayden Dent first, Maddie Maundrell second and Isaac Stewart third, but that could very well change here with Zach Mead's run. And Ewan Shedden as well. Those two could potentially take out the win here.
We see Ben Marshall on the big screen. He's looking like he's running pretty quick. Bit of bias from myself as a South Australian, but I think Ben Marshall could do well today.
Oh, and we do have a radio control from Zach Meads. He's just come through the first radio in third place, only 3 seconds behind. So as we expected, he is definitely in the fight today. It's going to be very interesting to see how that develops.
Yeah, and Rory Shedden came through the second spectator in second place, so it'll be very interesting between Rory Shedden and Zach Meads coming here, potentially taking out those top 3 boys in the ACT.
Yeah, so a little bit of danger now from Hayden Dent. He was pretty confident when I asked him, but it's looking like it might not be a sure thing now.
We also have Alex Van Zella in the junior boys as well. He's just gone into third place at that second radio control. He's only 40 seconds behind the time of Maddie Maundrell at that point.
And Rory Shedden in third place, 13 seconds down on Hayden Dent on the last pre-warning before the finish. If he can pull off a miraculous sprint finish here, he could get himself a podium place here. So we're just waiting on a couple of the junior boys now before we can announce the winners for today. So we're just waiting on Zach Meads and Rory Shedden. And Rory Shedden has come through still. Oh, Rory Shedden, 3rd place in the junior boys, 12 seconds down on Hayden Dent. So he's got himself a medal. He hasn't quite tipped over Hayden here, but it'll be interesting to see if Zach Meads comes in to take out the Aussies here.
Yeah, everything could change in the junior boys still. We're waiting Zach's time for the second radio.
Also at the second radio, another one of the Maundrels, Patrick Maundrel, has come through in 3rd place in junior boys. He's only 9 seconds down on Maddie's time, so...
He's really picked up some time here. It'll be interesting to see if he can hold on at the end there.
Yeah, very, very, very close competition in the junior boys. There's about 12 seconds separating the top 3 right now.
Whoa! Zach Meads to the second radio control, and he does have a new lead now. 1st place, 5 minutes and 10 seconds for Zach Meads. So as we expected, this could all be shaken up soon if he can keep on to this good run. So he is leading by 16 seconds there at that first radio control. Sorry, second radio control.
And Patrick Maundrel coming through the spectator arena now. He was 4th at the most recent radio control. It'll be interesting to see if he can have a pretty clean run in the second half here. He was a shocker out there today. I did not expect young Paddy Maundrel to do so well out there.
And here, if you look at the arena passage, we have Zach Meads currently winning right now. So it's all to play for Zach Meads in the junior boys class. If he can keep it clean, this could be a very good result for the New Zealand athlete.
Oh, if I was sitting in the podium position in the junior boys class, I'd be quaking my boots for Zach Meads and Patrick Maundrel coming in here, possibly taking out my podium spot. So it'll be interesting to see if they can have a clean run and pick up on a lot of time in the second half of the course. And Zach Meads has just come first in the radio control after the spectator arena. Same with Patrick Maundrel still in 4th and Alex Vanzella in 7th there. Maybe there might be a bit of a pack run there. Not sure. Would have to see if they have GPS trackers on. But seems like a couple of the officials before we started off had a bit of issues for setting up their GPS trackers. So we might not be able to see that there. We'll just have to wait for the radio controls to give you some updates on the last class to be finalised.
Yeah, so it's worth mentioning that even though Zach Meads is only 15 seconds up on the leader at that control, which was Matty Maundrel, he's actually almost 45 seconds up on Hayden Dent, who's the leader at the finish. So maybe some trouble for Matty at the finish, and it's looking very, very good for Zach Meads.
And I'll just give a plug for my fellow Victorian, Matt Leighton, who's done a very strong run there to finish currently in 6th in the junior boys.
Now, if you look up on the big screen, you see the GPS, the GoPro guy tracking down Patrick Maundrel here. Now, it'd be interesting to see if we've got one of the trackers following Zach Meads as well, but these 2 boys could potentially have a bit of a ruffle amongst the top 10 here, potentially ruffling the podium. So, looks like he's opening a gate there. He got caught on the camera. We'll have to look at the map to see if he's all good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Zach Meads can catch that back of Patrick Maundrel, because he's only 30 seconds behind him in real time now, started a minute apart. So if he can see the back of the ACT runner, he might be able to pick off some seconds and use that to help him a bit.
Yeah, not sure if that gate was meant to be open there. We might get some confirmation on that later. But yeah, if I was in the arena right now, I'd be turning your head to the big screen. It is heating up right now. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. It is going to come down to the final few moments here in the junior boys class.
Oh, Zach Meads has just come through first in one of the last loops here, and Patrick Maundrel's dropped down to 5th place here.
It's 23 seconds for Zach now. So it looks like he might have lost a little bit of time to Hayden Dent, but extended his lead over Matty Maundrell. So it's going to be very interesting. 23 seconds is not a huge amount. Anything can really happen in that last part of the course. So it's going to be a nervous wait for the Kiwi athletes now.
Now, it is interesting to note Patrick Maundrell, 9:01, was 5th in the 4th part of the course, and the leader, Hayden Dent, was 8:58, so it's very close at the end there.
We've just seen Zach on the big screen, looking like he's reading his map carefully, maybe just planning a route choice, but also maybe a bit of a hesitation, so it's going to be very close here. And someone else commenting on earlier, Ben Marshall, who was looking strong through some of that follow cam footage, has just come into 9th place in the junior boys.
And Alex Van Zeller in 5th place at the moment at the finish pre-warning, so he could potentially pace top 10 there, or possibly, if he's got a strong finish here, could get up into the podium place.
So Zach Meads running time about 10 minutes and 20 seconds now. So in less than 3 minutes, our junior boys class will be decided. We're waiting Zach Meads, the last couple of radio controls. All right, so I'm here with Hayden Dent again. The gap is 23 seconds at the third to last radio control. How was the last section of your course? Do you reckon you might have been able to make that up on Zach?
I mean, I did pretty fast at the end. I was Miles. I saw him. We kind of hit some at the same time.
Yeah, nice. It's looking very exciting. We're going to have to wait and see.
And you guys from? NBN. Oh, you're Gabby.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I'm Felix on the Orienteering Club.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
sorry, I was overseas when you...
We've got a couple more junior boys coming through the spectator loop here.
And I'm just here with Ariadna, who took a pretty dominant lead in the junior girls quite a while ago. Sorry we missed you. How was your run out there?
Pretty interesting, very tough. The route choice from 6 to 7, I think that was really fun.
Yeah, you think that was pretty decisive in the overall lead?
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I took the wrong choice and
Sorry.
then I had to run faster for the end.
I might have to really quickly interrupt that interview because Zach Meads, only 3 seconds, but he's down now. He's down on the time of Hayden Dent. 3 seconds. He's going to have to run very fast at the end, but it's going to be so tight. Here he is now on the big screen. Zach Meads, who was 3 seconds down at the last radio control. It's going to be neck and neck. The Kiwis going to have to be making some loud noise here because it's so tight in the junior boys.
And if you're one of the Aussies,
it looks like they can see him.
We'll
Zach Meads heading towards the finish. It's going to be neck and neck.
Where is Patrick Maundrell? Can he catch up?
Zach Meads, you can see him now on the big screen. He's flying towards the finish. This is going to be so close. He's giving everything in the sprint. This is for the win or the second place. It's going to be so close. Zach Meads flying into the finish, and what's it going to be? Oh.
We're just awaiting the results print now. And he takes the win.
Oh!
Give him a round of applause. What an
Look at
absolutely
that.
bravo performance from Zach Meads there.
And by quite a convincing margin in the end as well. 16 seconds at the finish. So it looks like he really put the gas on those last few controls from Zach Meads. We're still going to have to wait for the download, but it looks like that is the win from the junior boy running for Harua, the New Zealand team.
And Patrick Maundrell just coming in 8th place now for the junior boys. So that's pretty much all the results wrapped up now. So we'll just give a run through on the top 10 for each class. So we'll start off with the senior boys. We had Cooper Hawley in first, then Ewan Best, followed by Owen, taking out the top 3 for the Aussies, followed by Eddie Swain, Eli Dent and Jake McClellan. Pretty strong performance from the independent athlete Eli. And then finishing out the last 4 of the top 10, Miles Bryant, Blake McKinnon, Sam Carrier and Thomas Potts. So pretty strong performances by the Kiwis. In the senior girls, we had Anna Babington still in first, then Miller Key, then Georgia Lindrews taking out the top 3. Erica Enderby, Amy Nicole, Juliet Freeman taking out 4th, 5th and 6th. And then 7th to 10th, Tide Fave, Phoebe Hunt, Liana Stubbs, and Zara Toe.
So I'm here with Zach Meads, your winner in the junior boys class. A very tight race. It looks like you were up on the other athletes right from the start. How was your run?
I made a few route choice errors at the start, but overall it was clean. And just thanks to all of these guys over here. They made me sprint to the end, and I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, it was very tight. I don't know if you know, but at the second to last ready control, you were 3 seconds down on Hayden Dent. So really pulled up some time at the end. That sharing must have really helped. Great job. How are you feeling for the rest of the schools race?
Oh, I got to recover now. My legs are done.
Fair enough, fair enough. Great job.
Yeah, all the New Zealanders getting around him. Well done, mate. Now, to announce the junior girls. So in first place, we have Adriana Ishikova, second place, Sophie Hurd, and third, Ella Clausen, taking out the podium there. 4th to 6th, we have Greta Prince, Torin Jorgensen, and Dora Slavic. And 7th to 10th, we have Maggie Bolson, Sandra Halpin, Sophie Hartman, and Alina Burns. Now, the last class that we were announcing for and waiting for the final results. In first place, we just had Zach Meads, who we interviewed, Hayden Dent, Maddie Maundrell taking out the top 3 there. Rory Shedden 4th, Isaac Stewart 5th, Alton Freeman 6th, and from 7th to 10th, Alex Van Zeller, Patrick Maundrell, Matthew Layton, and Adrian Carbellini there. Now, in terms of the overall ASOP challenge, it looks like ACT's taking a pretty strong lead here for the junior classes, and I have to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on the seniors classes? Do you think New South Wales have taken a pretty strong performance in the senior boys, and what about the senior girls there for the Aussies? What do you guys think?
Oh, I see a lot of Harua names up near the top. It looks like Harua 3rd, 6th and 7th in the senior girls, and Harua 4th, 9th and 10th in the senior boys. That looks quite hard to beat. Interesting, like you said, an all-Aussie podium in the senior boys, but they are all from different states, I believe. Cooper Hawley from New South Wales, Ewan Best from Tassie, and Owen Radievsky from ACT. So,
and if you look up at the big screen there, you can see Eddie Swain taking a pretty different route choice compared to everyone. So just for all of you guys to know, this is a replay of the senior boys tracking here. So we can see a couple of the route choices that they made as we're talking about potentially who could take out the ASOC title here for the Aussies, because it's pretty obvious that Haro and Karahiwi have dominated in the senior boys now.
There you can see Cooper Hawley centre out the blocks. He's got a very commanding gap there. Eddie Swain and Ewan Best, similar times at this point. We know they came 2nd and 4th respectively. But yeah, Cooper Hawley just seems like he's 5-10 seconds ahead, even, 1 kilometre into the course, so definitely went out all guns blazing.
Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag in the senior girls for the ASOC title. We've got Miller from Victoria, Erica from New South Wales, Liana Stubbs, who I think is from Tassie. So it's anyone's game, really. We'll have to wait till the points are tallied up.
Yeah, and things can certainly change out in the forest, and relays being double points as well.
Also on the big screen, if you look now, that long leg 11 to 12, Cooper Hawley going a different way to Eddie and Ewan, so maybe that was the deciding factor. Cooper going a bit south of the line while Ewan and Eddie headed up north and just gunned it along the road.
Yeah, it seems like Cooper took the pretty straight route there. Despite being a pretty strong runner, I would have thought he would have taken the road there, but it looks like he caught up on a lot of time. And yeah, looking at the tracking, he was just dominant from the start, really.
Yeah, it looks like at this point heading to about control 21-22. Cooper's a control or two ahead of Ewan. Eddie Swain's dropped off a little bit. I don't think we have tracking for Owen, who came 3rd, so we can't see where he was at this point. But yeah, you can just see Cooper keeping up this lead all the way around. So yeah, very busy map today. Lots and lots of controls out there. Also, the athletes are running across areas that a couple of times or more, so maybe they start recognizing the same buildings on the second or third time heading around them. So a real chance to pick up speed on the back end of the course. So if you just have that little extra bit of fitness, you can pull away.
Yeah, kudos to Oscar Meller for setting quite a difficult control picking course for what I would assume would be quite a simple map. But then again, we'll have to have a run out there to see how hard it really was for these athletes out there. So we're just looking at the senior girls tracking now here. If you look up on the big screen there. Now we'll see if any of the girls took a similar route up and over, just like Eddie Swain did. No, looks like most of them went down.
Oh, actually we've got Ella Hogg going north. Kari Brennan and Hassie Reinber, I think that is as well, going north, but it looks like they lost quite a bit of time on that route choice.
Yeah, it looks like going south and then back up. It's a lot better control flow as well up there.
You can see that speed from Anna Babington already ahead as well, similar to Cooper Hawley, taking a lead early on in the course.
Oh, and it looks like a deciding route choice on 6 as well. Yep, that's their long leg. Anna Babington went very far north. Maybe this was the deciding factor, whilst most of the other girls seem to take the maybe more direct but hard to navigate straight option. Although they do seem to be getting to that point about the same time, but again, a different route choice from Anna.
Now, Aislinn, I'll have to ask you, since you set the very first School Sprint Championships in 2015, would you have taken the road or would you have taken the more direct straight route?
Oh, that's a really hard question, Riley, because I do love roads. Whenever I see a road, I will aim for it. So probably I'd go the road, but actually looking at the straight route, it's probably a little bit shorter, but you do have to make more decisions.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I would just take the road and send it. I'd back my running speed as well. What about your thoughts, Leith and Felix? Would you take a similar route to Cooper Hawley and most of the girls, or would you do what Anna did and just smash your legs out on the road?
Yeah, I think that straight her route looks pretty short to me as well. So I think maybe I'd hope if I'd seen it, I would have gone that way. I've talked to a few athletes and it seems like some of them had trouble. You can see up by 16 on the screen, those closed gates there. Some athletes might have got trapped in there. So that was a little bit of a trap for some of the athletes today, I think.
And could I just remind any of the athletes that did have GPS trackers to just take them over to the finish tent, please.
Yeah, but we can see at this point Anna Babington and Miller Key defining themselves against the rest of the pack. Georgia, Lindroos and Juliet.
Sorry, just a correction. Please take your GPS to the registration, not the finish tent. My bad.
Maybe there must have been a mistake from Erica Enderby somewhere near the end because she's currently quite far ahead. Oh, that might have been something there. She's quite currently ahead of Georgia Lindroos by a fair margin, but she ended up slightly behind at the finish. So we'll have to wait and watch the GPS to see that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation will take place for the school's competition at 11 o'clock, so in 10, 11 minutes. I'll take that back. There is a few issues this morning, so the presentation will not take place at 11. We'll let you know when it's time for the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to have the presentation, but there may be some changes after the presentation between now and, say, tomorrow morning. There is a bit of an issue, but I could make an appeal to everybody involved in the school's teams. The issue is a gate. The gate on the map is shut. It's got a black line where the gate is. The gate was opened by a number of competitors who ran through both directions. The honourable thing to do is disqualify yourself, not force the organisers to come up with a solution. We made the map, we made the gate shut, you are the ones who opened it. So be honourable, disqualify yourself. We have some of it on tracking, but we can't guarantee we have everybody. The only way we can guarantee everybody is if the competitors are honest. So we'll see how we go. In the meantime, we will have the presentation.
If Nia Shingler and Sam Wolford can come down to the presentation, we'll get underway shortly.
If you're going to be honest, which we've already got some honest people down here, you would like to come and write your name down as someone who went through the gate or opened it, either. Come and write your name down and then we'll make a call later today about what to do.
Do we have all the school teams in the arena? Can I call all the school teams to come down to the arena, please?
Just a reminder for the school's athletes, if you did cross that gate that was marked as closed, please be honest and keep up the good integrity of the sport and own up to the organisers at the registration tent, please. So if you went through that gate, just go to the registration tent, please. That way we'll be able to get presentations done faster.
If the people who were appointed as the school's jury are here, could you please come down? Unfortunately, we've got a situation where we need the jury, and we'd appreciate that as soon as possible. I don't know who they are, but could you come down to the finish tent, please?
Could Bruce Arthur please come to the download tent? Bruce
Right,
Arthur
we're going to
the
start the
download tent.
presentation. Hopefully I have all the schools teams in the arena. Before I start, I'd like to acknowledge the land that we're meeting on today and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And I'd like to welcome you all to the first event of the schools competition. Now we have two presentations this afternoon, or this morning. One is the ASOC, and that is the competition between all the state schools. And the other is the Southern Cross Challenge, and that is the competition across where we include New Zealand as well. So those presentations will take place kind of at the same time, and a lot of children will receive. Okay, so we'll get started. If I could have everybody's attention, and if I could have everyone sitting or whatever. Not. I've invited, come on, you two out here. I've invited Sam Wolford, who has been in our schools team several years, who is also a JWOC and WOC representative. He will present the boys' medals. And I've invited Nia Shingler, who also has the same calibre. She has been in the schools team a couple of years ago, but is also a JWOC and WOC representative. So they are going to present the medals this afternoon. So we'll get started. I'm going to start with the junior boys. And this is the ASOC prizes. That means this is for the competitors in the schools competition. And first place goes to Hayden Dent. Second place is Matty Mandrel from Orienteering. Both these boys are from Orienteering ACT. And third place, just push it out here. Third place is Rory Shedden from Orienteering New South Wales. Right. Start with third. I should call it the other way, shouldn't I? Congratulations, boys. Now the junior girls, I'll start with third place. And there was a lot of New Zealanders in here, so we had to go a little bit down the list, but third place goes to Sandra Halpin from Orienteering ACT. Second place to Ella Clausen from Orienteering Tasmania. And first place to Ariadna Ishakova, Orienteering ACT. Okay, congratulations, girls. Now the senior boys. Third place to Owen Radajewski from Orienteering ACT. Second place to Ewan Best from Orienteering Tasmania. And first place to Cooper Hawley from Orienteering New South Wales. And senior girls. Again, there's a lot of New Zealanders in this top 10. Third place is Leanna Stubbs from Orienteering Tasmania. Second place to Erica Enderby, Orienteering New South Wales. And first place to Miller Key from Orienteering Victoria. So this is the Southern Cross, is that the medals you got? Right, we're now going to do the Southern Cross Challenge presentation. I'll start with the junior girls. First place was Ariadna Ishakova from Orienteering ACT. Second place, Sophie Hurd from Karahiwi. And third place is Ella Clausen from Orienteering Tasmania. Right, junior boys. First place, Zach Meads, Harua. Second place, Hayden Dent, Orienteering ACT. And third place, Maddie Mundrell from Orienteering ACT. Right, senior girls. First place, Anna Babington from Karahiwi. Second place, Miller Key, Orienteering Victoria. And third place, Georgie Lindrus from Harua. Congratulations, girls. And the senior boys, there's no New Zealanders in the top three. First place, Cooper Hurley, Orienteering New South Wales. Second place, Ewan Best, Orienteering Tasmania. And third place, Owen Radajewski, Orienteering ACT. Congratulations, boys. So that concludes our presentation. Thank you to Nia and Sam for helping out. And we'll see all the school's children tomorrow in the bush at Pine Tree. Well done, thank you.
Could we have a representative of the ACT Schools Management down here, please? Someone from the ACT Schools Management.
Announcement, can everyone who has their GPS trackers please come down to the commentary registration tent, please. Everyone. We'll list you by name. So Ella Hogg, can you please give your GPS tracker to the registration tent? Max Johnson, can you please give your tracker to the registration tent? Cooper Hawley and Eddie Swain and Jamie Wolford, go to the registration tent, give back your tracker please. And Blake McKinnon already gave the tracker back to us. So if you heard your name, go to the registration tent please, give back your tracker.